Thank you very much for that very warm welcome. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we are gathered on tonight. And I'd also like to acknowledge Chris Schott, the President of Australian Volleyball Federation. Blunt, pithy. But that's Chris. He's always been that way and he serves your sport well. I'd also like to acknowledge Joan Perry, the CEO. To all of the Olympians here, athletes, coaches, administrators and family, friends of volleyball, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure it is for me to be here tonight, to be a part of this event. I'm humbled in the role that I've been given, but tonight it makes me feel that this is what Australian sport is all about. It's true I knew just a little bit about the sport of volleyball before I was in the position of Minister for Sport, but tonight I feel like I've got to know it a whole lot better. To hear the stories through the ages from Wally, George, Barry, Phil and Andrew brings this sport to life. To meet, through their words on the stage, the various players of your teams of the half century, I can get a really strong feeling of how much this sport has been a part of families, of generations, of whole cities, of schools, of towns, of institutes of sport, of the AIS, and how it will continue to grow on the back of what is an extraordinary foundation of 50 years. The Olympics is an amazing thing, and I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly, but I do want to spend a few minutes on talking about what sport is in this country. I often describe it as being far more than the sum of its parts. It's often the hour each week that families and kids, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters spend together that they love the most. I loved hearing Nat's story about being called onto the court on a whim, and look at the life that it gave. For some people, sport saves them. For others, it gives them a gift that they would never have imagined for themselves. It makes you feel good, it keeps you fit. For some, it's about outrunning the black dog, and for others, it's about reaching your potential. These things you can't put a value on it. It's a part of who we are, and clearly it's a part of what each and every one of you bring to this amazing sport of volleyball. I was inspired recently by the extraordinary story of the men's indoor team. The legendary, tough road that those who play volleyball have to take to qualify for world events is well known. But what an amazing story nonetheless. And to come at this time, in many respects at a time when the questions were being asked about the future of the sport and its elite program, well, can I tell you, what better way to prove your credentials? It is, of course, only the second time that the team has qualified, other than, of course, participating in Sydney as the host country. And nonetheless, quite an extraordinary achievement. I'd like to acknowledge the coach, John Uriarty, and what he's brought to the team, and all of the players who I know are just beginning their extraordinary journey into the future. To Louise Borden and Bakara Palmer and Tansum Hinchley and Natalie Cook. What an amazing bunch of women who are going to take that green and gold into all of our hearts and on our behalf strut that stage on the sand in London. Good luck to all of you. There's something about inspiring the imagination of the next generation of young women who, for the first time perhaps, when they turn on their TV sets and they see these amazing women play beach volleyball, turn their minds for the first time perhaps to that sport and thereby spark another generation of participants. Particularly to Natalie Cook, fourth Olympics. What an extraordinary athlete. 5. Simon, are these your notes? He's never going to forgive me for that. It's from last time, isn't it? But such is the remarkable performance and record of Natalie Cook. So to all of you, I'm looking forward to seeing you over there. I'd also like to say a few words about another woman in the room tonight, and that is to Joan Perry, your CEO. I've known Joan for many years. I was trying to work it out the other day, Joan. It's at least 20. Yeah. Always a leader in sports administration, always being prepared to go that extra bit well beyond what you'd expect in someone's professional obligations and responsibilities. Joan, I know you're going to be leaving soon and heading to the US. I'd like to use this opportunity to pay my respects to you and acknowledge you for the wonderful work you've done over a lifetime of commitment to sport in Australia, but also particularly for the marvellous work you've done with Volleyball Australia. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the scheme of things, Australian sport does do very well. To echo just a couple of the cliches tonight, we do punch above our weight. And tonight, I'm sure you, as I do, get a sense of why that is so. And it is so because of the commitment, the belief, the sheer sense of fun and engagement that comes with participating in sport. But most of all, I think it's because of the friendship that it inspires. You'll all be friends for life. And Australia thanks you for your commitment to your sport and to Volleyball Australia. Thank you very much.